Hello everybody and welcome to Nathan on Shuffle and to my latest episode here of New Music Weekly, the show where I give you guys the top prog singles, the top news of the week, and talk about my channel and what's been going on here on Nathan on Shuffle. So I unfortunately didn't do a show last week. I just didn't feel like there was enough news items to cover, so I'm pushing last week's stuff into this week's show, and hopefully we'll have a cool show to deliver to you guys today. I know it's been a little bit slow in the month of January. Haven't done any real reviews yet or anything, but partially because there just aren't many new releases in the month of January, and partially because I'm giving myself a little bit of a break and hoping to hit it hard once I get back into things in February. There's a couple of major albums that I'm going to be talking about and doing lengthy reviews of, so don't fear, the channel's still here. I'm going to continue to do content. It may be at a little bit of a reduced pace compared to last year, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm going to focus on very good premium content as much as I can. So it's January 23rd, and let me talk about some of the new recent releases from the last couple weeks. We had a new album from Alter Bridge, more in the hard rock vein, but just really good, solid, great rock music if you're interested in that kind of thing. The Proto Men on the 9th came out with their album Act 3, The City Made Us, which is more kind of a rock opera style, very much a themed concept record in a more traditional rock sense. Soen released their album Reliance on January 16th, which is prog metal. Hearing a little bit of mixed results on this one. Some people think that they've kind of fallen into a rut and aren't doing anything super interesting in the world of prog metal. I think it's fairly solid. Nothing that stands out exceptionally well, but very pleasant to listen to, and definitely of good quality. Textures and the album Genotype came out this weekend, the 23rd. This is just excellent prog metal, kind of in the same camp as like Leprous and Tesseract. Very pleasant, very good, very great production values. That's from K-Scope, I believe. Alan Morse came out with a solo record, So Many Words. He, of course, is the guitarist long-standing of Spock's Beard, the brother of Neal Morse, who's, of course, my favorite artist in the prog world today. So I wanted to mention his solo record, very cool. I was surprised. I was expecting more like instrumentals focused on guitar since he's guitar centered, but there's a lot of vocals on the record. He does a lot of the vocal stuff and has a couple guests, and you hear Neal's voice on occasion. So a really solid, cool record from Alan Morse. Megadeth did their self-titled record that came out this weekend as well. Not a huge fan personally, but I thought I'd mention it since it's a pretty major rock-related release for this weekend. And Sycophant released their new EP Leaves this weekend as well. Fantastic if you love like vintage 70s classic rock and prog. Especially there's a big Pink Floyd kind of flavor to this record. This combined with their previous EP creates kind of a record in tandem together. They also are opening pre-orders for the physical release of the album on vinyl and CD. You can check that out on their Bandcamp site. Excellent band and really cool stuff. This is probably the highlight to me of the week's new releases. So definitely check out Sycophant. They're an incredible band. I covered their debut record on the channel. The band just deserves more recognition. They're lesser known and deserve to be more widely known. As for the news items for this week, I wanted to talk about Rush and how they've announced their new expanded reissues of their classic album Grace Under Pressure. This is their 1984 release. I actually really love this record. I know a lot of people have mixed feelings about their 80s records, especially the prog fans, I should say, as they kind of went away from their traditional prog style of their 70s records and into more of their 80s sound. But I absolutely love their 80s sound. I think it's supremely creative still. They still have that same prog spirit, and this album really works well for me. So it's cool that it's getting this big super deluxe edition with all the bells and whistles. It's insanely expensive. I think it may already be sold out on their website as well, this super deluxe edition, available in 4 CD Blu-ray pack, 5 LP plus Blu-ray pack, Super Deluxe Digital Edition, Dolby Atmos Digital Edition, and Grace Under Pressure Tour live in Toronto 1984. These are all different versions and different things you can check out based upon this release. There's 2025 remasters on CD for the first time. 2025 Terry Brown makes that live in Toronto 84, which I believe is newly available. Really cool stuff there. Concert video stuff. And it's going to be a great package, a booklet, and all the kinds of bells and whistles that they tend to do with these big deluxe editions. And so I think that should be a cool thing to look forward to, even if it's kind of out of my budget, out of my price range a little bit. Excited. I like all these new reissues and things from these classic bands. Yes is putting out their reissue of Tales from Topographic Oceans, their super deluxe edition of it, and I already have mine on pre-order because that album means a lot to me personally. So I'm excited to hear, even if the new mixes and things sometimes aren't like the most massively different things from the standard record that we've had, but it's cool to hear the little nuances, little updates in the sound, hear it in Dolby Atmos and all that kind of stuff. Is just fun for fans of these records. So I'm sure the Grace Under Pressure album will be a great reissue as well. So that's coming down the pike. Should be a fun one to look forward to this year. We've also got news from Pink Floyd that they're releasing their 1972 Live at Pompeii film on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray. They already released it as a Blu-ray package and CD and all that stuff last year, I believe. But this is a new upgraded version on 4K for home video, so that should be really cool to check out if you're into the band. There was a lot of praise for this release from last year. This new 4K version is coming out February 27th. So if you're interested in the most premium picture quality that exists on home video at the moment, I think this should be great. Other news in the Pink Floyd camp, there was some previously unseen footage released onto YouTube of their North American leg of In the Flesh tour. This is a 10-minute clip featuring sections of Wish You Were Here, Shine On You Crazy Diamond, and Money, filmed at the Anaheim Stadium in Anaheim, California on May 7th, 1977, uploaded by the Pink Floyd Research Group, a set of fans who restore and archive bootleg media. So a lot of people are pretty happy with this bootleg material. Great to see them live in that classic setting back in the 70s. So thought I'd bring it to your attention. I'll put a link to it, if I remember, in the description so that you could check out this footage if you haven't seen it yet. Now on to some more new prog faces. I want to talk about Einar Solberg announcing his second solo album, which is called Vox Occulta, and a new single is out for that called Medulla. This album, Vox Occulta, is due for release April 24th. Bold and heavy symphonic statement, and the album was recorded in collaboration with the Norwegian Radio Orchestra. So this is actually the second track they've released from this project. They released a previous track that was a cool orchestrated affair. It was a really cool piece. Of course, Einar Solberg is from Leprous. He has an incredible operatic kind of vocal style that works really well in tandem with this like expressive progressive rock and progressive metal that he does with his Leprous project. And his previous solo record was really great, called 16. It was one that I really loved the year it came out. It came out a couple years ago. This is available for pre-order, Vox Occulta. And so it's kind of fusing the worlds of classical music and soundtrack music with what Einar Solberg does in more of a singer-songwriter way, but bringing that cinematic edge, adding real strings and all of that orchestral arrangement. Should be a really fascinating listen. It's on pre-order now as a limited CD digipack, gatefold white/black 2LP, where one disc, one LP is black and one LP is white, so you get kind of both colors there. And a limited gatefold transparent red 2LP as well as digital. So that should be a cool release. Of course, on the Inside Out label, I'm always checking out what they have going on. Also on the Inside Out label, Dream Theater's releasing Live in Tokyo 2010, which apparently is Mike Portnoy's final show before he came back for Parasomnia in 2023. So this is part of their series that they've done of this Lost Not Forgotten archives. And so it'd be cool to see this kind of classic concert tour from 2010, including some tracks like A Nightmare to Remember, Rite of Passage, Prophets of War, Wither, Count of Tuscany, Pull Me Under, Metropolis. So a great set list centered around like the Black Clouds and Silver Lining era. And it's due out on March 13th. Available for pre-order now. Also in a special edition CD digipack, gatefold white 180 gram 2LP, limited gatefold white lilac marble 180 gram 2LP, and a fig cream 180 gram 2LP, and a digital album as well, of course. Getting creative with all the different variants and colors of these vinyl. I actually really like it. I know some people kind of think it's a little bit over the top to have all these different colored variants, but I think it's fun as a collector to collect things. And I like when the colored vinyl kind of matches the artwork and it makes for a cool artistic package. So just something that I'm a fan of. And I wanted to mention finally a lot of the singles that have come out that I'm excited about these upcoming releases. Some that I've been lucky enough to be able to hear and enjoy and prepare for reviews. One is the new track from Big Big Train. They released their single Counting Stars. This is from their upcoming album Woodcut, coming out on February 6th. If you could believe it, the 16th studio album for the band. And this is going to be a wonderful album. I've been privileged to be able to hear it so far, and I have a lot of thoughts about this. Great concept record, really the first narrative concept record for the band. And Counting Stars is just a beautiful ballad, just one of the signature pieces that is right towards the end of the record, and it's a great, sumptuous experience with Alberto Bravin's incredible vocals and just really beautiful. So I heartily recommend checking out that single, as well as the two previous ones that have come before it, The Artist and The Sharpest Blade, all fantastic. The new album is a triumph, and I can't wait to talk about it in more detail on a future episode. So if you love any kind of classic prog, modern prog, this is just a no-brainer. I think everyone's going to love this record. And it's available for pre-order as well. So check that one out. Also, of course, if you know me, you know I'm really excited about the new Neal Morse Band album. And they released a new single called Hurt People. This album is from Lift, or L-I-F-T, coming out February 27th, featuring the classic Neal Morse Band lineup: Neal Morse, Mike Portnoy, Eric Gillette, Bill Hubauer, and Randy George. Concept record. It flows one track from the next, very much harkening back to the Similitude of a Dream and Great Adventure duology, but done in a single disc. Fantastic record. I'm excited to talk about that one as well. But this is a fun track, Hurt People. It's one of the heavier tracks on the record. Chance for Eric Gillette to be able to shine. He does the vocals here, and the video is more of a short edit of the track. But if you go to like streaming services, check out the full length track. There's a expansive instrumental section which is really fun. Great fireworks playing. This is of course available for pre-order as well. I'm sure if you watch my channel, you're probably familiar with Neal Morse, but if not, like, what are you doing? Go out and check out Neal Morse. He has some incredible records out there. And this is another one to add to that pile. So excited to have Neal Morse Band back. I was worried they would never come out with a new record, but here we are with another fun Neal Morse Band record to talk about and get excited about. A couple other things that I've noticed also: Between the Buried and Me have a live track of God Terror from their previous album that just came out last year, The Blue Nowhere. So looks like they're planning some live dates, kicking off a tour in Europe. They did a North American tour last year, so this is kind of announcing their upcoming tour. I believe Ilo's going to be on that tour with them, so it's going to be a cool tour. And God Terror is one of the more heavier, intense tracks from Blue Nowhere, so it's a little bit tougher for me to listen to as someone who doesn't care as much for the harsh vocals and things, but I thought it was worth bringing up. Holosoil is a new band on Inside Out. They released a single called Spirals. This is an alternative prog quartet featuring some female lead vocals. Very modern, very fresh sounding, very fun. They are going to be releasing an EP in April, it sounds like. They've done a couple singles already. They're going to put those together, add 2 more additional singles, and this is kind of their first statement on Inside Out as a group, so that should be something to look forward to. I also want to mention there's a new single from Brass Camel, a band that I featured in my top favorite albums of last year, called Ice Cold, a cool video for that one as well. I have a link to, I've created a new playlist for the top prog singles of 2026. If you were familiar, I did one for last year, which contained all of these songs that I talk about throughout these episodes. I just plug them into that playlist so that you have a convenient place to check out all of these singles if you want to get a taste for the latest and greatest in progressive rock. So I have 8 or so songs on that, 8 or 9 songs so far. It's going to be a running list that continues throughout the year. I also want to mention Moron Police did a Kickstarter campaign for a physical release for Pachinko, which was my favorite album of last year. So I was quick to jump on my copy of it. It looks like they've fully funded their Kickstarter campaign within a few hours, and that was really cool to see them have success in that way. There's really cool orange vinyl available. There's also CD versions and different perks and different things available if you want to check out their Kickstarter and support them. It's still running, I believe, throughout the rest of this month, even though they've exceeded their goal. They're like 3 times past their goal that they had for the Kickstarter. So really exciting news for Moron Police. I think their record Pachinko is an all-timer, one of the greatest records that I've come across in the last several years. So really excited for their progress, and that'll be a lot of fun. So as for the channel itself, so far the only video I've done this year was my previous New Music Weekly from a couple weeks ago, so I know it's been a little bit quiet, and you guys are probably hoping for more content soon, and there will be. I think basically I'm taking January a little bit light. There's not many new releases anyways, but in February there's going to be some big reviews. Of course, the 2 I've mentioned in here, Big Train's Woodcut and Neal Morse Band's Lift. I'm going to be talking about both of those in depth in their own separate reviews. I'm going to definitely be doing a February album review roundup that'll cover the first 2 months of the year. I have a couple of releases that I've been enjoying, but I'm not sure it's enough to pull together a video for the end of January. So I think I'm going to pull that all into the end of February and do kind of a double month episode of my favorite music that I've uncovered from the first 2 months. There's also a new record from Carnival coming out that I'm heavily considering doing a review of as well. Haven't heard it yet, so I'd like to be able to listen to it and get a feel for it before I decide if it is going to have its own full review or not. So those are the things that are in the hopper. I'm talking with Jana a lot too about what our return will look like. Hopefully we'll do something together in the not too distant future also to get things going on the channel. Really excited to talk about all this new music and to get into the swing of things for this year. So thank you guys for sticking with me. Sorry it's been a bit light on the channel, but there's going to be a lot of cool stuff, I promise you. And let me know in the comments if there's things you're wanting from my channel, if you have some ideas for other videos that you think that I could do. I'm always open to look for ideas and to try to figure out new things to spark fun on the channel, if you will. So thank you guys so much for joining me, and as always, enjoy the music, everybody. Thank you. See you in the next episode, hopefully.